just as I support my life, neither by robbery nor alms, but by my own effort. So I do not seek to derive my happiness from the injury or the favor of others, but earn it by my own achievement. Just as I do not consider the pleasure of others as the goal of my life, so I do not consider my pleasure as the goal of the lives of others. Just as there are no contradictions in my values and no conflicts among my desires, so there are no victims and no conflicts of interest among rational men, men who do not desire the unearned, and do not view one another with a cannibal's lust, men who neither make sacrifices nor accept them. Do you ask what moral obligation I owe to my fellow men? None, except the obligation I owe to myself, to material objects, and to all of existence. Rationality. I deal with men as my nature and theirs demands, by means of reason. I seek or desire nothing from them, except such relations as they care to enter of their own voluntary choice. It is only with their mind that I can deal, and only for my own self-interest, when they see that my interest coincides with theirs. When they don't, I enter no relationships. I let dissenters go their way, and I do not swerve from mine. I win by means of nothing but logic, and I surrender to nothing but logic. I do not surrender my reason, or deal with men who surrender theirs. I have nothing to gain from fools or cowards. I have no benefits to seek from human vices, from stupidity, dishonesty, or fear. The only value men can offer me is the work of their mind. When I disagree with a rational man, I let reality be our final arbiter. If I am right, he will learn. If I am wrong, I will. One of us will win, but both will profit. Whatever may be open to disagreement, there is one act of evil that may not. The act that no man may commit against others, and no man may sanction or forgive. So long as men desire to live together, no man may initiate. Do you hear me? No man may start the use of physical force against others. To interpose the threat of physical destruction between a man and his perception of reality is to negate and paralyze his means of survival. To force him to act against his own judgment is like forcing him to act against his own sight. Whoever, to whatever purpose or extent, initiates the use of force is a killer, acting on the premise of death in a manner wider than murder, the premise of destroying man's capacity to live. Do not open your mouth to tell me that your mind has convinced you of your right to force my mind. Force and mind are opposites. Morality ends where a gun begins. When you declare that men are irrational animals and propose to treat them as such, you define thereby your own character, and can no longer claim the sanction of reason, as no advocate of contradictions can claim it. There can be no right to destroy the source of rights, the only means of judging right or wrong, the mind. To force a man to drop his own mind, and to accept your will as a substitute, with a gun in place of a syllogism, with terror in place of proof, and death as the final argument, is to attempt to exist in defiance of reality. Reality demands of man that he act for his own rational interest. Your gun demands of him that he act against it. Reality threatens man with death if he does not act on his rational judgment. You threaten him with death if he does. You place him into a world where the price of his life is the surrender of all the virtues required by life. And death, by a process of gradual destruction, is all that you and your system will achieve.
Du bist keine Kommunistin? Bist du eine Gläubige?
Ja, mein Hauptmann. Ich glaube an Christus.
Du kannst eins von den Kindern behalten.
Wie bitte?
Du kannst eins von den Kindern behalten. Das andere muss weg.
Wollen Sie mir sagen, dass ich wählen muss? Ich kann nicht wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Halt's Maul.
Ich kann nicht wählen.
Komm, ich schick sie beide weg. Ich schick beide Kinder weg.
Nein.
Ja doch, du musst
Zwingen Sie
wählen.
mich nicht zu wählen.
Komm,
Ich kann nicht wählen.
Und ich schick sie beide darüber.
Nein.
Halt's Maul, halt. Hör auf jetzt. Du sollst das Maul halten.
Nein.
Los, entscheide dich, wähle.
Nein. Zwingen Sie mich nicht zu wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Ich schick sie beide darüber.
Ich wähle.
Nehmen Sie beide Kinder weg. Ja, schieß dich! Los!
Nehmen Sie meine Kleine.
Los!
Nehmen Sie meine Kleine. Nehmen Sie das Mädchen. Nehmen Sie das Mädchen.
When death is made to be the ruling power, the winning argument in a society of men. Be it a highwayman who confronts a traveler with the ultimatum, your money or your life, or a politician who confronts a country with the ultimatum, your children's education or your life. The meaning of that ultimatum is, your mind or your life. And neither is possible to a man without the other. If there are degrees of evil, it is hard to say who is the more contemptible, the brute who assumes the right to force the mind of others, or the moral degenerate who grants to others the right to force his mind. That is the moral absolute one does not leave open to debate. I do not grant the terms of reason to men who propose to deprive me of reason. I do not enter discussions with neighbors who think they can forbid me to think. I do not place my moral sanction upon a murderer's wish to kill me. When a man attempts to deal with me by force, I answer him by force. It is only as retaliation that force may be used, and only against the man who starts its use. No, I do not share his evil or sink to his concept of morality. I merely grant him his choice, destruction, the only destruction he had the right to choose, his own. He uses force to seize a value. I use it only to destroy destruction. A hold-up man seeks to gain wealth by killing. I do not grow richer by killing a hold-up man. I seek no values by means of evil, nor do I surrender my values to evil. In the name of all the producers who have kept you alive and received your death ultimatums in payment, I now answer you with the single ultimatum of our own. Our work or your guns. You can choose either. You can't have both.